employees, right?
They are employees.
Tonight on Cronkite News, how SRP maintains Arizona canals and takes care of their scaly underwater employees.
Plus, is Gen Z willing to give without expecting to get? Why some online are saying not to turn to Gen Z this holiday season for help.
And Sun Devil football kept their season alive this weekend at Colorado, learned their path to the Big 12 championship game. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Macy Markham. Thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight, the Pentagon says that they will investigate Arizona Senator Mark Kelly for possible breach of military law.
This comes after Senator Kelly and a few other lawmakers called for U.S. troops to refuse unlawful orders.
Last week, President Trump called Mark Kelly and several other Democrats traitors. President Trump also adding on Truth Social that seditious behavior has a death sentence. Kelly responded to these claims, saying he will not be intimidated.
Any president's words carry a lot of weight. He's got supporters out there that they listen to what he says, and when he calls for the execution of myself and 5 of my colleagues in Congress, that means something to a lot of people.
Kelly maintains that he was not violating any laws, but instead reminding troops of their rights under the Constitution.
The first phase has begun on a maintenance project by SRP to repair parts of the Tempe and Western canals. The first step, however, might not be what you think.
Cronkite News reporter Edward Neiman spoke to crews on what it takes to maintain one of the oldest canals in the valley.
It's not the most glamorous job, but a necessary one. The Tempe Canal serves as one of the primary water delivery systems for the East Valley, and crews from SRP are knee-deep removing silt and trash out in preparation for repairs. This week is the start of a month-long maintenance project by SRP as maintenance crews are out here doing repair work on the canals. The first step of the process includes herding up all of the fish that call these canals home. SRP's smallest employee, the white aimer fish.
So the white aimer fish, they go out there and they eat the aquatic vegetation, so we don't have to use those chemicals.
The project is quick, just 30 days.
Then we'll have a crew come in with the metal fence, and we can effectively pick up the fish from the water, dip them out.
After herding the fish, they're put into hand nets and eventually moved to a larger net attached to an excavator.
From there, the fish are transported upstream or to another canal section.
According to SRP, the project is an important step in keeping drinking water safe and clean for residents all across the area.
So the canals are the lifeblood of the valley. Keeping them clean maintains the capacity and allows that water to get where it needs to go as quickly as possible.
After the repair work is complete, the fish are released back into the system to resume their job of helping keep the waterways clean.
They're employees, right?
They are employees.
In Tempe, Edward Neiman, Cronkite News.
According to the SRP, the project is expected to take 30 days to complete. The public can expect parts of the Tempe and Western Canal banks and walking paths to be closed during that time.
Senate Democrats are asking Congress to set aside more money to help federal lands recover from this year's wildfires. Senators Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallegos signed on to the request, saying parks, forests, and land from the Bureau of Land Management need more support after a tough fire season. Nearly 1 million acres of BLM land burned across the West, and about 200,000 of those acres were in Arizona. The senators say these agencies don't qualify for FEMA reimbursement, so they're pushing for Congress to include recovery funds in its next emergency spending bill.
The Trump administration will open oil drilling off the coasts of Florida and California for the first time in decades. The 5-year plan would open Central and Southern California up for auction in 2027, with Northern California and Florida joining in 2029. The decision was opposed by Florida Republican leadership, who were concerned about opening the coast after the 2010 Deepwater Horizon spill. California Governor Gavin Newsom vowed to continue fighting against the plan.
And the Trump administration designated Venezuelan cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist organization. This move officially labels President Nicolas Maduro as a member of a terrorist organization, as the Venezuelan president leads the group. It is not officially a cartel. It refers to the military and government officials who make money from drug running. This designation comes as the Trump administration continues to weigh military action in Venezuela.
Meanwhile, a federal judge has dismissed the indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The ruling found that the appointment of interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was invalid, meaning she didn't have the authority to bring the cases. Defense attorneys argued her 120-day window to serve without Senate confirmation had already expired. Halligan was handpicked by President Trump and filed the charges within days of taking on the role. The judge dismissed the cases without prejudice, leaving the possibility of future charges open.
Coming up next, it's a first for Arizona as the state is making waves, literally.
The competitive wake surfing championship waved hello to the desert for the first time.
I hope that hopefully one day we could get into the Olympics. That would be super cool, and just continue to grow the sport.
Stay tuned on Cronkite News to learn how they brought competitive wake surfing to the Grand Canyon State.
And I'm Kayla McDonald from the Cronkite Weather Center. We saw some crazy weather last week, but will that continue into this upcoming weekend? Find out coming up. Into those early morning lows, we're up north.
Trail runs about a mile long and not only features different textures and terrain.
65 to 63 after Florida's defense stopped it.
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me. So I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. Thanksgiving, not just a time to be thankful, but a time to give back. But who is really getting out there to help their neighbors?
Online debates criticize Gen Z, assuming younger people don't volunteer as much. But Cronkite News reporter Izzy Ludlow took a look at the data and asked nonprofits if that's really the case.
The internet is calling it hyper-individualism, saying Gen Z believes you don't owe anyone anything. Simply put, selfishness.
People don't want to give up their time for something that doesn't give much of a, give back to them.
Shay Wiley is a part of Gen Z, critical of her peers.
All my friends back at home don't volunteer at all, and I really feel like volunteering is such a great thing.
As a volunteer herself, she's not as rare as she thinks. Despite the common misconception, the numbers say otherwise. According to a study from Junior Achievement of Arizona, Gen Z volunteers as much as baby boomers. The study shows 66% of Gen Z responders say they volunteer, but only 57% of millennials and 54% of Gen X.
There's data to show that, younger millennials and older Gen Z are some of the most volunteer-oriented people ever in America.
Tanner Swanson works for A New Leaf, one of the largest homeless shelters and domestic violence service providers in Arizona. Swanson says they're grateful for volunteers.
I always tell people, everyone wants to get their hands on and volunteer, and it's crucial. And if you want to do that, come out and serve.
But volunteering alone doesn't cut it. Nonprofits like this one say they need funding.
One of the biggest ways you can help is donating. It's the most flexible, easiest way, and for most nonprofits, it's what's most needed right now.
In Phoenix, Izzy Ludlow, Cronkite News.
And if you're planning on driving to Thanksgiving dinner Thursday, be careful on the roads. AAA is estimating a record number of drivers commuting on Thanksgiving Day. The roads this holiday weekend will be one of the busiest and most dangerous of the year, with millions on the road, plus the risk of early winter conditions such as ice, snow, and rain have on driving. Experts recommend getting on the road early, not driving through the night, and being careful around trucks.
And a new report shows the U.S. turkey population is at the lowest it's been in 4 decades at 195 million. The decrease in population is due to the multiple breakouts of avian disease or bird flu this year. This could mean an increase in the price of turkey this holiday season. The USDA is estimating a record 40% increase in retail price of a turkey compared to last year.
If you thought the rain we've gotten here in Phoenix this fall has been more than you'd expect, you'd be right. This fall has been the wettest rainy season recorded in over 100 years. Over 6 inches of rain have been recorded at Sky Harbor this season. That's just a bit shy of the average 7.5 inches of rain Phoenix gets each year.
Now, over the past few weeks, we've been getting a lot of crazy weather, but I mean, all this rain has been a nice change in pace, hasn't it?
It has been very nice. I know I'm a fan, but will we see any more rain going into the Thanksgiving weekend?
Yeah, so coming up into the weekend, we're seeing an increased chance of some storms, but last week that weather was pretty crazy and quite unusual. This morning, the National Weather Service announced in their preliminary damage survey that in fact an EF0 tornado did touch down in Maricopa County, flipping over this RV trailer right over here. It had an estimated wind speed of 80 to 85 miles per hour, and that EF0 is the lowest ranking tornado on the enhanced Vegeta scale. In the very next day after this tornado event, we saw a hail event that took social media by storm. Everyone was saying it looked like snow on the roads, as we see in this picture here. It almost looks like some snow with all those hailstones right there. And Tempe even saw some hailstones of about an inch. Going into this evening, we're seeing some temperatures in the 60s, which is pretty nice. And then overnight, we're going to dip pretty quick into our early morning lows with our 53 degrees here in Phoenix, 48 in Gila Bend, and up north below freezing Window Rock, 20. Nice. 24 for Flagstaff, 21 at the Grand Canyon. That is cold. And then also for up north, those highs are going to be in the 50s, 52 at Window Rock, 50 in Flagstaff, 52 at the Grand Canyon, and for the Valley in the 70s, 73 for Phoenix, 74 for Gila Bend. Now, what we're seeing with all of our pressure going on through the U.S. is we are drying out. We're going to see some clouds move through on Saturday and on Sunday, and what we're having is pressure is starting to dip, and which could give us some extra storm chances coming up on Sunday. So going into that week, we are drying out, so those temperatures are increasing, a high of 72 for Tuesday and then a high of 78 for Wednesday. But those temperatures are going to stick around the high of 76 because we got some clouds for Thanksgiving on that holiday. Nice. And then we see those rain chances come back with a 40% on Sunday and a 40% on Monday. For those low temperatures, they're going to be in the 50s consistently, but because of the rain, it's going to dip our lows into the 40s next week. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Kayla McDonald.
Thanks, Kayla. We may be in the desert, but a new sport is making waves here in Arizona.
That's right. For the first time ever, the state hosted the competitive wake surfing championship. Reporter Charlie Vicario hit the water to see what the sport was all about.
Surfing doesn't come naturally in Arizona. On the man-made Lake Pleasant, the surfers rely on man-made wakes, making Arizona a unique host for this world tournament. Bottom-heavy boats slash through the lake, creating the waves these wake surfers need.
Go get them! Wake surfing, you are making a big wave where you can throw the rope and ride without it and do tricks without being strapped in, but on a wakeboard you're doing flips and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wake surfing is a water sport that these surfers say hooks you from the moment you get on the board.
It's so much fun. Once you start, you will never stop.
Sierra Islet is from Germany, one of the many countries that previously held the tournament.
I traveled to Geneva and Switzerland and France already, and now here. And I love the international kind of visits because then I get to meet new people that I didn't meet before.
Arizona hosted the Competitive Wake Surf Association World Championship this year, bringing in 92 athletes from 12 countries, including first-time visitors.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's like a warm bath. It's amazing.
Amy Gillespie from Canada showed me how the surfers compete by showcasing their tricks scored off of difficulty, intensity, variety, and execution. And with just seconds on the wave, every trick has to count.
It's only 50 seconds, so it's super, super quick. You got to throw your tricks, but there's nothing practice can't fix.
And that practice looks different for every surfer. A routine Pace and Stimmel from Washington said he crafted on his own time in his own way.
For training, I go out on the river, whether it's rain or shine, or even in Washington, we have lots of smoke right now. I would just go out and train for over an hour every day.
These athletes say the community around wake surfing is what makes the sport special, and they hope it continues to grow.
I hope that hopefully one day we could get into the Olympics. That would be super cool, and just continue to grow the sport so that all kinds of people keep coming and trying wake surfing.
Payson Stimmel and Amy Gillespie both walked away as world champions in their categories. Both surfers impressed judges with clean runs and intense tricks. In the newsroom, Charlie Vicario, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Charlie. Coming up next, it's the Cronkite Sports Report, and the Suns can't stop winning.
That's right. The Suns have won 3 in a row, but their competition is about to ramp up.
And this group has found ways to win no matter who it is.
The Suns play the Rockets tonight as they look to keep their win streak alive. The Cronkite Sports Report is next.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Max Williams. We start tonight with Sun Devil football, wrapping up their last regular season road game on Saturday against the Colorado Buffaloes. The Suns' Big 12 championship hopes were once again on the line, and our own Nate Mills was in Boulder for the game.
Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes ain't hard to find, but versus number 25 Arizona State, the end zones were for both sides. That was until the second half when the Sun Devils offense erupted, featuring a career night from running back Raleek Brown and a 42-17 victory.
We just had to get a feel for the defense and see what they was doing. And then once we got a feel, it was on one.
Brown broke the school record in road game rushing yards with 255. He also reached 1,000 yards on the season, but all the credit goes to the offensive line.
I just seen a big hole and then just burst through it.
When we started getting the right hats on the right hats, we started moving people. The running back saw the holes, and he played phenomenal in the second half, and the O-line did as well.
The Sun Devils turned the ball over a season high 4 times, but the defense held the Buffs to just 3 points on those possessions.
To only give up 17 points and 300 roughly yards in a game and 3 quarters is phenomenal. So that defense definitely kept us in that thing.
With the win, ASU sits tied at 3rd in the conference with an 8-3 overall record.
All the things that this team's been through, and we're still going to play our last game, is going to matter. That's unbelievable. It's special to be able to play 12 games and they all matter.
Meaningful football still ahead for Arizona State as they return to Tempe to host the Arizona Wildcats in the 2025 Territorial Cup, with the Big 12 championship still possible. In Boulder, Colorado, Nate Mills, Cronkite News.
Great stuff, Nate. We'll have more on Raleek Brown later. Now the Sun Devils will quickly turn their focus to Friday when they face off against their rivals, the Arizona Wildcats. And the team understands their playoff hopes come down to this game.
This is a one-game season, and we finished the regular season 8-3. We get a bonus game right here, and then whatever's after that. But that's how I view it.
And it's gearing up to be quite the week in college football for the state of Arizona. While U of A doesn't have a shot to make it to the Big 12 championship, ASU still does, and here's how. It all starts with a must-win game against the Wildcats. After that, the Sun Devils will need some help. The Big 12 released 3 different scenarios that would lead to ASU returning to Dallas. And with both the Wildcats and Devils sitting at 8-3, Friday could get crazy. And yet again, same story, different week for the Arizona Cardinals as they dropped yet another close game. Arizona was able to get to overtime against the Jacksonville Jaguars and held the Jags to a field goal, but failed to convert on 4th down, leaving the Cardinals with their 6th loss this season in one-score games. But this Valley team is on track. The Suns went undefeated over the weekend against 2 projected playoff teams. Looks like the Suns are seriously rolling as their schedule ramps up. First against Minnesota, Colin Gillespie, you got to see this shot. He came up big time, hitting this runner. There's that orange court for the NBA Cup, too. I mean, come on, showing up big time. Now the Wolves do get a shot off here. Julius Randle coming down the court. I don't think so. Not close. Phoenix closer to a win there. Then against San Antonio, the next game, Dylan Brooks dropping 25, Devin Booker dropping 24 points. Book might not be shooting his best right now, but head coach Jordan Knott isn't worried about the shooting slump.
You know, he has great belief in this group, and this group has found ways to win no matter who it is when they don't have great nights. And I think that's why this group could be different, because when he does get it figured out, it only creates even more of a ceiling for us. And I really thought he passed the ball well tonight. So he had 7 assists, but I assume he had some where we didn't make the shot, so he easily could have had a double-double. You know, but he's just finding ways to help us on both ends. So we'll take the 2-0.
Moving over to college hoops now, ASU men's basketball is on a road trip. They're in Hawaii for the Maui Invitational, and tonight they'll play Texas in the first round. They're off to a 4-1 start thanks to standout transfers like Mo Odom and Masama Diop. Texas is also 4-1 with their only loss coming to a top-ranked Duke team. And the Sun Devils have been in Maui since their win over Hawaii, giving them some time to settle in. Should be some fun basketball coming up in this sort of underdog year for Sun Devil hoops. And the Sun Devils will also have games on Tuesday and Wednesday, with the opponent depending on the other games. And down south, newly ranked number 2, Arizona will host Denver tonight in Tucson. Now we bring you yet another edition of the Weekend Wows, where we look at some of the moments that wowed us the most over the past couple days. We begin with the Cardinals. And you know they didn't pull off that win against the Jags, but they pulled off this literally big play. The 300-pound rookie Walter Nolan coming up with the thick 6. You know, when that ball fell into his arms, his mind was on one thing: get in the touchdown for the Cards. What a play for the big rookie. Now we move to Sun Devil football in Boulder. Raleek Brown set a school record in Colorado, rushing for 250 yards. It's the most road rushing yards in Sun Devil history. And he capped off his stellar night with this 88-yard, rushing play. You just feel like he can break out at any moment. Now, also on Saturday, Marley Washnitz got some national attention with this heave, throwing it up off the glass at the last second to take home the 56-53 win. That was the top play on the SportsCenter Top 10, and I think she earned it. That's going to do it for this edition of the Weekend Wows and tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Max Williams. I'm going to send it back to Jacob and Macy at the desk. Could you guys have made that shot? How about Washnitz winning it for the Devils?
Well, I mean, I am pretty tall, but I don't think I'd be able to shoot that shot. What do you think?
I'm going to count myself out. There's no way I'm making that shot.
Coming up next, one Arizona College marching band will be performing at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
They were one of 100 applicants who made the cut, and the first one from Arizona. Can you guess which school is sending their marching band over 2,000 miles to the Big Apple?
Welcome back. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is just days away, and while organizers are putting on the final touches to the balloons and floats, one Arizona marching band is preparing for their big moment.
That's right. The band is Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks. NAU will be the first Arizona college to perform at the event. The band was one of 100 applicants who made the cut. The group exceeded their fundraising goal of $250,000, with 595 people donating to their travel fund. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade starts at 8:30 a.m. Arizona time on Thursday.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Jacob Schenker.
And I'm Macy Markham. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.